Good morning, Vietnam! That wasn't too loud, was it?
I'm alright.
You're alright?
Yeah.
Dude, I always wanted to do that. I don't even think that was my best take. I may have to try that every single episode until I get it right. But I actually
that was perfect.
I made a walk-up song last year, and I never got to use it, and I should have used it. But it started with Robin Williams saying "Good Morning Vietnam," and it went into Crazy Train.
What would be your guys' walk-up songs?
That's tough, man.
Walk-out songs in any sport, in any capacity.
Anything.
I mean, walk-up song, it's got to be baseball, right? You're stepping up to the plate, or...
All right, yeah, you can do that.
Man.
Because, I mean, basketball...
All right, now you're walking up to a street fight. You're about to get jumped outside of steals. What are you playing to protect your business?
Dude, what are you playing during a street fight?
Your family's on the line.
I mean, if you're going into a street fight, I feel like you got to go Eye of the Tiger.
Okay.
Right?
Bobby?
big 80 montage. No, Bobby, come on. Something different. Come on.
I was thinking like pop out to your party. I don't know.
I don't know.
Dude, I think I'm going Blue Notes, Meek Mill. You guys know
that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
That'd be pretty good.
Really
I'd probably walk out to Real Slim Shady. Just get it going because they're like, dude, because I'd be like, and I come out just waving my arms, and I'd be stepping each way. I'd be like, I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady, and all you other Slim Shadys are just.
That sounds like a break dance, or like a dance battle, not really a fight.
Well, dude, I will
CJ might dance and scare the other guys away and be like, I'm not messing with this.
Be like, who is this guy?
Yeah, so maybe that's best actually.
Dude, we have this kid on our team at ESU, and like every time like I fake punch him or I bump into him. He acts like I'm that much bigger. He's like, "Oh, dude, like watch out! Like don't hurt me, man. Like we've gone over this." But he always goes, "My mom always told me to stand up to bullies like you." And then he goes, "Why I oughta?" like from Popeye.
Dude, I feel like if like someone's pressing you or something, like you can really mess with them by just being like, "Oh, dude, like." My bad, like I didn't mean that.
Dude, I didn't mean that, man.
Like, dude, they're gonna feel so stupid. They're like, get up in your face.
Dude, all right, I know I referenced South Park way too much, but you guys watch South Park? Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so there's this one episode, and it's called "You Just Got Served." And this group of breakdancers is walking around South Park, and they walk up to the kids like while they're just like hanging out doing random stuff, and they just start. They have like the boombox on their shoulder, and this episode was made in the early 2000s, right? Just to set the mood, set the ambience, and. They just walk up to him. They're like, "Dance, sucker, you got nothing on me." And I said, "Dance, sucker, you got nothing on me." And they're doing like the little cartoon dance, and they're all just standing there. And of course, it's South Park, because all the people in the back are like, "Oh wow, man, those kids are getting served, dude!" Like stupid. So they go home. They're like, "Oh man, like Randy," and he's like, "Yeah, Sharon." He's like, "Stan got served today." He's like, "Oh no," and he starts like crying.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's like, "Stan, you're like coming to the garage." He's got like an all gray jumpsuit on that like Rocky would be wearing during a training montage. He's like, "Next time you guys get served, this is what you're gonna do." And he puts on "Achy Breaky Heart." I don't know who sings it, but it's a country song. It's like, "Don't you break my heart, my achy breaky heart." And he's like, "This is what's gonna happen." And he's line dancing to it. He's like, "Don't you break my heart."
If any of you guys haven't noticed, CJ had the supporting role in that Annie.
Yeah.
I was CJ's a big musician.
Dude, even on my last date, it came up, and she was like, "I did plays," and I was like, "I did plays too." And then she's like, "What play?" And I was like, "Annie Jr., baby." Annie Jr. I was Rooster.
Annie Jr.
It wasn't even the real Annie. It was Annie Jr. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
You have to.
Didn't you have a solo by yourself?
Dude, I was Rooster. I had half the show was mine. I had so many solos in that. It was like Easy Street.
I think you should make a few TikToks for us.
Oh, 100%.
For the brand.
100%.
I had like a not a solo, but like four of us sang like the 4th grade chorus concert, and it was Journey, and I was like, "A singer in a smoky room." And my dad was like, "Yeah,
I love Journey."
You put on freaking any 80s music for dads in the crowd, and that's a compliment.
Dude, let's hear it for Pete.
4th grader, dude. When you hear a 4th grader singing freaking Journey, dude. Oh man.
Brad, do you remember you were in that? Oh my God, it was like that one recital at SIS, and you had a solo with
Recital?
like two. Yeah, dude, it was a singing thing with Miss Margaret.
Oh.
Do you remember her, dude?
Miss
It was with the young kids, like preschoolers all the way up through high school, and you got on stage with these two other people, the two other little kids, and the one kid. You guys all had button-down shirts, and you guys all had the same thing on, unbuttoned white T-shirt, jeans, or whatever. And the one kid was like flying, like he was a bird. So he was like, it was like, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star." You not remember that?
How old was that?
Oh, dude, 5, 6. I was like 10. So you must have been 7. You were young.
Voice of an angel.
It was before you were able to make your own decisions, because you sure as heck would never have done
No,
that
probably not.
if you had the decision to do that.
Do you guys think that like, so how like dads think that 80s music being played now is like the coolest thing ever? When we're older, at our kids' chorus concerts, is it going to be like Little Uzi Vert? Like they're going to play Polo G, and I'm going to be like, oh, back in my day, this is music.
I think we're going to bounce back to our dad's 80s music.
You think?
Yeah.
It's
Dude,
gonna outlast.
80s music may never go out of style. It's just like that, man. I don't think it'll ever go out. You have people who just listen to rap all the time that will still be like, all right, you know what, man? I'm gonna listen to some 80s rock today. Right. I think everybody does. Doesn't matter what demographic you're from, what culture you're from. I think everyone ends up putting on Journey. Like maybe when they're in their bag or something. I don't know, but it's just something that they do.
Like, do you vibe to 80s music yourself?
Ooh.
Well, Lights by Journey.
I'll
the
live to-
lights
I'll
go
listen to
down
80s music,
in
but
the city.
I don't think I listen to it like just chilling on my own.
Really? You don't?
gonna
Never? All those hours on the mower and you've never just...
Nah, that's all country and rap.
No, really. No 80s
Really?
music. Unbelievable.
Interesting.
Could you imagine, though, at our kids' chorus concert, some like little girl gets out there, she's like, no, I got the Rex on me. Bad me, want a bad. You know, stall those Rex on me. And then some kid with a
Dude,
super
that was
high voice
perfect.
comes
That was
out and
perfect.
goes, hi, haters. And then the whole chorus goes, this is my world, so it's all in my
Nah, I
favor.
can't see that.
Oh, dude.
I want to see that because I would just be laughing the whole time.
That would be awesome.
Mama, for every tear you shed, we're gonna slide on them.
Dude, I'm going to go take over a chorus, and I'm going to have them sing Erase Your Social. 100%.
That song's gotta last. That song's a classic.
That's a good one. And do you guys remember when...
That goes back to the 2016 vibe.
What year was that? Were we sophomores or
20,
juniors?
that was 2016.
Seniors. That was our senior fall,
Was
dude.
it? Okay, wow.
Well, you remember Stefan came into the lunchroom and was like, yo, I got our new walk-ups, our new run-out
Wasn't it
song
like
for
all
basketball.
I do is win? Or, no, it wasn't that. Jeez, what am I thinking?
That was everybody's walk.
It was
What?
that. It was.
Yeah, it was.
Man, I can't remember the song, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it was Erase Your Social, and he was like, guys, this is the best thing. And I listened to like the first second of it. I'm like, oh, dude, no way, dude, this isn't going to get the crowd hyped up. And then I remember I went home later that night, and I was thrown into a trance because I love that song
but
so much.
The crowd was really hyped up when we weren't allowed to play music anymore.
Yeah, that was
Wait,
that
why
was brutal.
That? Why was it?
That was brutal.
We were pretty bad, so we couldn't warm up
Just
to
lost
music.
walkout.
Yeah. We just had to be like locked in. Like,
Coach was like, Jesus, get him out of here. This is
But then
I
they had,
actually think it was because like some of the music was explicit, so
Yeah, you
like
know
the
what- you know what I
athletic
don't get
director was
now?
like, nah, that's it. Like,
So even like I know like the field hockey team and stuff, the teams IDs, they can't play rap music even if it's bleeped out,
really?
which I don't get.
no, that was the way it was at Northampton and Campbell too. If you had to bleep something out, then it wouldn't sound good. So you had to find 15 to 20 seconds of a clean version of a song, and that would have to be
Nah,
what
but
it
they
was.
won't even at the high school. They won't even let them play like any rap clean version.
You know what that
Not
means?
bleeped out.
You know what that means?
What?
A lot of 80s music. Not a whole lot of cursing
Yeah,
going on in
yeah.
80s music. You're going to have to pick one of those.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to have to revert back to the 80s music, but then again, see how it comes full circle? 80s music is
Yeah.
going to be around forever. They're going to say, all right, you can only walk out to 80s music. What if that became a thing? Oh, that would be
So
horrible.
what happens to the '60s music when we're older? Does that just get washed away?
That's already dead. Though.
Well, I mean, you have
Right?
who's even in the 60s? The
Dude, I
Beatles?
don't know.
All
Yeah,
right,
I'm
so
gonna say the Beatles.
when
Hey,
Hey Jude,
everyone's getting a
right?
solo on the episode tonight.
he. So when I was building this table with my grandfather, what I did, I had a speaker. My grandfather liked listening, but my grandfather's 81 years old. So we were listening to some music, and I put on Frank Sinatra, right? And Frank Sinatra was 50s, 60s, 70s, and whatever. So we're like 20 minutes in, right? And it's like, fly me to the moon, and all those songs. And then pop-up goes, so CJ, what do you have on the Frank
you sound
Sinatra
just like
on?
him.
See, why do you have Frank Sinatra on? I'm like, oh, you don't listen to him? He goes, no, I never really got into Frank Sinatra. I go, Papa, then who'd you listen to in the 60s when you... Because, dude, my grandpa was always telling stories about he'd be playing basketball with the boys. And then, again, they didn't have, speakers or phones.
Right,
so
sure,
that's
sure,
kind of a
sure.
stupid question to ask. But he was like, I guess we listened to the Beatles a little bit, but I like country. We put on some of that new country stuff. I like that stuff. Kind of sounds like Bill Clinton now that I'm saying it. But Papa does not sound like Bill Clinton.
No, you can't compare him to that. That's horrible.
I find it so funny
Monica.
that your grandfather was my dad's like driving school teacher.
Dude, he was
when in
everyone's
high
driving
school.
teacher.
I
I
know.
know, it's-
Mrs. Grassi was his drive. It
Yeah,
was her
Lisa,
driving
it was
teacher.
Lisa's driving teacher,
Dude, it was
yeah.
crazy, man. I've always wanted to know what it was like when my dad and my grandfather were in the same school.
Yeah, if anyone has like a parent that works in their high school, tell me what that's like. Start up and say something, because I always thought about that.
So my sister, like talking to her teacher friends and stuff, she said that's a no-go. Like she would not want her kids being in the same school district as her.
Because if I saw some kid like disrespecting my mom, if she was a sub or a teacher,
I'm like, hey!
I'd freak out.
Not only that, though, think about when the kids are at like a younger age and they're like, "Oh, my mommy works here." Like they think you can get away with anything, especially when they're younger. Like,
we have stories of that too. There's always some kids that they knew. Actually, not a lot of stories. Maybe one or two. Actually, no, never mind. Not really. I mean, there was like one or two.
I don't have any.
I mean, you think of it. It's like daddy ball in the elementary school, baby.
Okay, daddy ball exists, but
Daddy, yeah, that's bad, dude.
We've all been a part of it. It's sometimes bad, sometimes not. But
You gotta do a sport like tennis or swim or some shit.
yeah, something very individual. That's what my dad always said about skiing. He's like, CJ, you should take up skiing. It's a very individual sport. And you know what? I think if I were to ski, I would always listen to 80s music. I feel like that's just a vibe.
No.
When I'm up on the slope.
Music today.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. Someone's got to get me off the topic right now before I ramble on about it.
I mean, you could keep singing.
All right, no. If you were back to what we were talking about with the plays. I can keep singing if you want. All right, guys. Yeah, put in the DMs if you want to see me sing a song. Literally anything. Baby Got Back, Lil Uzi Vert, some country, maybe some Frank Sinatra. I'll sing it, man, and I'll put it on TikTok. But that's just
Frank
that's just
Sinatra,
a thought.
you want to know what's hilarious? When we were playing like PlayStation with Alex, his brother Eric. Well, all you guys know.
Yeah.
You just hear him in the background just singing Frank Sinatra.
Well, how was he?
Really?
I mean, he was pretty good at it, but
nice.
Dude, I just Frank Sinatra. Are you serious?
Yeah, especially in the
at that
Valencia
age.
household. Considering their dad looks like Drake, you would think they'd always be playing Drake in the
It's
house.
funny, yeah, because Alex loves rap too, but they're completely different people.
I think that's all Alex listens to, and he's gonna listen to the podcast. Like, no, I don't. And he's gonna say
he is a listener.
he is a listener.
He did phone in a question for us to talk about today.
Did he today?
Yeah.
Nice. Shout out AV. Dude, I can't wait to have him on the
replied to
podcast.
Bobby's story.
Nice.
What was it?
Nice.
Yeah, he said, "Who is the most influential people in your lives?"
All right. Well, we could talk about that now. We could talk about
briefly. I think we could touch on it briefly.
Most influential people in our lives. Who wants to start it off? Drum roll. And Bobby.
For me, I would say it's kind of just basic, but I would just say my mom, my dad, and probably my brother.
Wow, that could not have been more of a generic answer, but thank you, Bobby. That was very hard hitting.
I'm sure yours is probably the same.
For me though, it was my mom. Shout out Mama T, because like her mom died at a young age. She had to like basically bring up her little siblings, and she just like stayed strong. So that's my rock right there.
Very well said. And just to say, when we were when I was at Campbell, and I keep talking about the Campbell stories, but we had a hero, hardship, and highlight. So we had someone talk at the very beginning of practice. We had this classroom where Coach Hare would talk about whatever he needed to talk about. We'd learn like a life lesson for the day. Then people would get up and they'd talk about their hero, their hardship, and their highlight. And a lot of the times, the heroes of everyone was their dads. So of course, if I were to get up there, I would have said my dad. And especially because when I was going through all those hard times with my stomach, which I still go through, and I was sick, for the last decade on and off, sometimes really bad, sometimes not. My dad was always the one to go that extra mile and to go the extra step. And both my parents did. And a lot of people, like my grandparents, aunts, and uncles, they all stepped up. But really, my dad was the one that would stay up at night, that would be constantly researching ways to get me better. So I always look up to him for that. Super knowledgeable.
Like mom was always just so cool with like whatever I brought home, like any type of news. Like I remember, I got into a fight my freshman year of high school, and the vice principal calls her, and she's like, "Your son's in a bit of trouble down here at the high school." And she's like, "Put him on." And I'm like, "Hey, mom." She's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I got into a fight in the hallway. They're gonna suspend me." She goes, "Okay." Okay.
Yeah.
She goes, I'm gonna come pick you up.
Did you finish it?
We're gonna go home. And I was like, yeah, that's probably the best one. I went home and she was just cool about it. But like anything in life that's ever happened, she's always just been
considering that kid threw the punch at you. Like, what were you gonna do? Just eat it?
Yeah, so the school told me to get a guidance counselor. So right away, what I did was when I got punched, I ran for help.
Yeah,
I went there, threw
that's
him back,
everything your dad taught you in life.
Dude, you want to talk about like adrenaline?
When you get punched, go run.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's what every dad says. Dude, you want to talk about like an adrenaline?
I got a fun story
booster?
too. What?
There's nothing that gets your blood pumping like getting whacked right in front of fucking I don't know how many kids.
Brent,
right in front of
that's the second time you dropped the F bomb in 2 weeks. You're gonna need to watch your mouth.
Sorry,
one
man.
time, one more time, you're out of here.
It's a story.
All right, fine.
I
Pass
have
or vote?
to. I have to agree. My answer is pretty cliche as well. I'm gonna go with my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Your dad's a man.
just instilling the discipline, the work ethic. I mean, just just nature of habit now. So I see it from him and learn from that.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. All your family's cool, though. I mean,
Yeah,
all,
and
all of our
especially
families are pretty cool.
kinda relating to what we're trying to do, whether I want to go to chiropractic school or not, but building the brand, building something up from scratch, and that's exactly what your dad did. Like, he didn't graduate, didn't go to college, right? Graduated
Yeah.
from high school and just kind of went on his own, and he ended up figuring it all out. And became very successful with it. And what I was gonna say with what that's what not what our dad taught us.
Oh, yeah.
Growing up, I did a form of karate called Tang Soo Do, and I ended up being the youngest person in my dojo's history at the time. And I'm sure it's been like 10 years since I've gotten my black belt, but the youngest person to ever get their black belt. But my dad was a part of that dojo's first generation of people to ever get their black belt. And of course, back in the 80s when he would do it, it was slightly acceptable to, not beat, but to physically reinforce what someone was learning. So they had this stick made of bamboo, right? And I don't know if you've ever been whacked with bamboo, but it flipping hurts.
Yeah,
like it is not.
tough.
It does not feel good. So my dad in high school, I don't want to say he misbehaved, but he definitely could have used. I think he was a little rough around the edges from what my mom tells me and everything. So they ended up the stick that they would use to physically reinforce in a moderate way. They ended up naming it the Pachaka stick. Because my dad got whacked by it so many times, rightfully
Wait,
so.
Where at? The high school?
No, Pocono Tang Soo Do, dude.
Oh, shoot.
Back in the day, so
Yeah, my
course.
dad knocked out his best friend and got boxer's fracture on his hand. He was a bad dude back in the day.
yeah.
Do you remember that conversation with Richard? He said it's like a cycle. So it was, your dad, misbehaves, not the best student. All of us, pretty good students, stay out of trouble for the most part.
Yeah.
Richard's saying it's an endless cycle where our kids are going to be bad. Do you believe in that?
Well, I mean, if everything happens the way we want it to happen, then our kids are going to be spoiled rotten. So possibly.
I'm not gonna say like I was good for the most part. I'm not gonna say I was some angel in high
Yeah.
school. Like I do like some teachers.
For the most part, you were a good
but-
student, stayed out
Yeah,
of trouble.
I did my best. Yeah, for sure. But no angel.
No, I want to be able to discipline my kids right from the start, and I know the kind
Physically?
of no, not physically. Because it's in the pursuit of wealth, you kind of always wonder, and of course you have to obtain that wealth before you can ever think about what's going to happen next. Because money always changes people, right? I mean, if you go with good morals and
once I
values.
saw that first GMI account, I
But once you end up, as soon as someone starts making money, then obviously priorities could change and whatever. But you always think about how you're going to raise your kids and how is that going to affect them. But no matter what, I just want to be stern and I want to raise them in a solid household, right from the start. Right from the start. And like if you
so my kids will not be visiting Uncle CJ's.
No, all right, but no, they're gonna have to visit you for some
I was
fun.
gonna say your kids are gonna call me, but like, dude, get us the hell out of here. I'm already on my way.
Uncle Brent.
Every night,
Come, CJ.
can I sleep over at Uncle Brent's house?
I'll be like, sure, get over there. And he'll be like, who wants to eat some gluten? And they'll be like, yeah, woo.
Are you gonna make your kids gluten free?
As of right now, yeah.
Dude,
Oh,
don't make
he
them live that
definitely
life.
is,
miserable.
It's not miserable, man.
You don't know what you're
You guys
missing
are going to
out
have
on.
gluten allergies by the time you're
Halo
40
ice
years
cream
old.
or
Some
mint
pizza
chocolate
and
chips, some real good stuff.
No, I'll give them that,
Straight
guys. I'm not
out.
going to be a tyrant. I'm going to...
You say that now, but
Yeah, well, there it goes. Well, what if having kids changes that perspective?
I have a feeling your wife though is gonna be like complete opposite.
Yeah, we gotta see.
Yeah,
we gotta see
yeah,
what
yeah.
girl you bring around till we determine.
Yeah,
how
we'll
your kids
see
are gonna be.
in another decade when that finally happens, and you guys will be able to judge that. I'm going solo for the next 10 years.
Solo,
All
you
right.
heard it here first.
I'm solo, huh? Career
You're
first.
saying it here first. You're
You
going
heard
solo
that
for 10
TikTok I
years?
showed you about Hallmark? It's like every Hallmark movie ever, and it's like I need you to go out to this coastal town's pumpkin festival and find out the secret ingredient to their pumpkin pie. And she's like, pumpkin pie? And he's like, all right, one more thing, don't fall in love. And she goes, I am too focused on my career for love. That's gonna be me. I'm gonna be super focused, and then I'm gonna fall in love, and it's gonna be fast.
You're gonna fall hard and you're gonna fall fast.
Yeah. One
I
and
catch
done.
a
It's gonna end
grenade
up
for
brutal
ya.
Brutal divorce.
No, don't speak that into existence. Take it back. Oh no, that scares me
As
so
Zach
much.
said, episode 2, keep that bad energy out of
Right,
here.
right.
you
No,
know?
good vibes.
Considering I was the one who did that bad energy about
Yeah.
that plane falling out of the sky,
Yeah, this is
that's
karma.
this is karma. But let's hope neither of those things happen. Look, more specifically the plane falling out of the sky. That would be very, very bad. We don't want that happening. So we're definitely going to move on from that. And this is the question I wanted to ask earlier, kind of going off of me rambling on about the play. If you guys had to write a musical about one event in history that hasn't already been done, what would it be?
You go first.
Yeah, I'm not going first. So
Can I go Eagles Patriots Super Bowl 52?
Yeah.
Someone can act out like Carson Wentz pouting on the sideline and Nick Foles being, the man of the city.
Yeah, and then there could be like a part where everyone's
That's a
like
good one.
tearing the city apart afterwards.
Yeah.
Be like,
No, honestly,
we
I
are
don't
the
know.
champions. And
I really don't
There'll be
know.
like a fake. That's a good one though. That's all right. There'll be like a fake telephone pole on stage. You can rip it out of the ground and then carry it around in circles. That'd be pretty cool, dude. There were people in the city that night that were sending me videos of people carrying like traffic lights. I'm like, guys, that's bad. Like, can we not do that?
I'm not a big history guy, so it's kind of hard to say a
No
musical.
history.
Just anything. Just make a play about anything. What about you, Brent?
The PV East Bucket game was 68.
68, dude. What about the PV East brawl of '89?
Wait, what's that?
I don't know if it was 89, but you remember we
That
know
89
that
sounds
one
cool.
person who where they, or no, it wasn't a brawl, but they snuck onto the Pleasant Valley's field
Oh yeah.
and they burned PM East into the football field because of something that they did.
Dude, could you imagine growing up back then and like that's what they did? Like when I was in high school, we like made posters that was like Pregnant Valley. But back then, they actually drove on the freaking field the day before. Freaking
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's nuts, right? Again, going back to the 80s, dude. Everything tonight just revolves back to the 80s. Imagine how
Do you
nuts it
wish
would have
you
been
lived
going.
in the 80s?
That's a good question. I think there's a lot
Yes
of.
and no. I think here's the problem with the 80s. What we're doing now, like with the podcast and stuff, it
Wouldn't have happened.
in the
Yeah,
80s.
that's true.
But there's also a lot less drama in the 80s. You don't have to worry about social media and stuff. You walk to your friend's house, like where's
Yeah.
it around town. So that's pretty cool. But like, in terms of my dreams, no. In terms of like, if I just wanted to be the average Joe, probably yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Bobby? What about the musical? You got any ideas over there?
I'm trying to think. Maybe like some historical event, like Pompeii, like where like the volcano like exploded and then
There
like
you
the
go.
like, poured
Hey,
down into
hey,
the town,
yo,
like,
hey,
something
yo,
like that.
hey, yo. But if you close your eyes, did you imagine
It can
someone
start
singing
pretty
that?
good. It would be like, like all happy and then it gets like crazy and then maybe like a romance, like two people make it out, maybe one of them doesn't make it out.
No, they'd be like,
You know?
run to the sea. You can make it too. No, I must sit here and die. Well, if you're gonna die, I'm gonna die too. But that's funny because that's how the actual movie ended. You ever see Pompeii?
I never saw the movie. No.
Dude, it's with the dude it's with Jon Snow from Hunger Games, and some girl and some chick.
Hunger
No,
Games.
wait,
Jon Snow.
No,
Game
I'm
of
sorry.
Thrones.
Game of
Yeah,
Thrones.
so-
Game of
so
Thrones.
confused.
Jon Snow from
Sorry, wait, I see
Game of
Hunger
Thrones. I'm sorry. All right, let's reel it back in. Let's reel it back in. But it's funny because they're like on the horse and they stop. He's like, "Wait, the horse can't carry both of us to safety. You must go to the sea."
Oh,
And then
like Titanic kind of.
and then the girl gets off the horse. She's like,
No,
"I'm not
so-
leaving you," and then smacks the horse on the butt, and the horse runs away. Now they're both dead. It's like, why would you do that? Like, if you're gonna die kissing, like they ended up, you could just die kissing on the horse, and you could still have a chance of getting away from the lava. But you just sat there and ate it.
Yeah, that was cool though.
So what? Did the horse survive, or did the horse die for nothing?
I don't know. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
I watched the thing with Neil deGrasse Tyson,
Big chicken guy.
and I'm super religious, right? So I have my views with that. In terms of that, it's if you look at natural selection, right,
There we go.
and how things progress.
Oh,
Technically,
man.
the egg came first, but it came from something that wasn't a chicken.
I mean, I was
It
gonna,
came from something that had an evolutionary adaptation.
The
which
first
then,
chicken was definitely not like a modern chicken.
No, it was like
definitely
a-
evolution. Like,
A KFC chicken.
it started with a T-Rex and ended with a chicken, according to new or archaeologists or whatever. You know what's really making me mad?
I'll agree with you. I'm gonna go with the egg as well.
Has to be the egg. Well, I mean,
Right? Yeah.
turns of God, chicken came first, which I'm very inclined
Yeah,
to
unless they
believe.
just dropped the chicken right in there and then, yeah. Laid
Could you imagine that just one day, just
He's like making animals. He's like, chicken.
it's like, and the other one goes, and they're just like pecking. He's like, maybe I shouldn't have made those. Those are
He's like, that was stupid.
that was dumb. It's like you look at a chicken. It's like, how did this thing survive? How did this thing make it through the ice age? What was it? How was it in the ice age? What was a chicken in the ice age?
Dodo bird, right?
With all those predatory mammals roaming around, just literally eating everything. No, it wasn't a dodo bird. The dodo bird was separate. The dodo bird was a thing in the 1800s, so it wasn't a chicken.
I can't answer these questions for you.
All right, let's move on from that. Who brought that up? Richie, why would you bring that up?
You were just talking about like something else. It was a yes. It was a egg or chicken.
What
question.
if you make a musical about the first chicken?
Next.
Stupid. All right, next. If I were to make a musical about something, it'd be like, I don't know, maybe The Malice in the Palace.
Oh man, that's a good one.
I know. We saw that. We were watching that documentary on Netflix, right, Brent?
Dude, you know what I was thinking about? Like, okay, so there was all those upsets in college football this weekend. Fans storming the field, going nuts, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So Owen, shout out Owen. Owen and I went to a Rutgers game.
Yeah, I saw you guys out there.
And I was thinking, like, these, like, frat boys are talking shit to these dudes, like, from the sideline, like, these drunk, freaking, skinny-ass frat kids. If they go on the field and those kids have a shot at them, like, you're nuts for storming the field.
You're going to get absolutely murked.
I don't know how kids storm the field and don't freaking die. Like, these 6'6".
Well, there's like 6,000 kids versus like 50 guys.
Yeah, but if I'm, like, a big football player, dude, I just lost on a...
Dude, especially some kids would definitely go crazy if they saw someone that was talking crap to them in the stands, and they're high on adrenaline because they just lost, right? And they're high on emotion. Could you imagine just they pick some kid that's running onto the field and they just, all 320 pounds of a lineman or a linebacker going into some skinny frat dude, just lowering his helmet and going right into his gut? That would be crazy. Could you imagine someone listening to the podcast like, "Shut up, Brosgiving told me to face my fears and run into some dude running on the field."
I was at the game and I was like, "Yo, these kids talk their shit. Like they like, you better hope that you don't freaking on the field with them. Like, no way." That's
speaking of people running onto the field, do you remember the Pleasant Valley East basketball brawl of 13? Do you remember that whole thing that went down?
There was a
or
fight.
14,
Yeah.
13? No, it was 14.
I briefly
2014.
remember it now. Yeah.
And Richard said he was there throwing Skittles on the court, like
I
throwing them at
remember
people.
him saying that.
And I guess there was this whole brawl, right? We had like 5 or 6 people get suspended. And so the next game, the next day was our last game of the season, and it was against Banger. So all this stuff went on with the varsity team, right? People got into a fight, big brawl, big no-no, right? I think the Banger game the next day got canceled, or they just playing a bunch of JV guys.
Yeah, I think a whole bunch of the varsity team was like suspended or something.
Heck of a way to end your high school career, getting suspended for a brawl. I mean, that team wasn't exactly good. So
at that point,
they were probably like, all right, man, we're going to go out swinging. But we played Banger the next day. Literally played my worst game of the season, had 0 points. But at the very end of the game,
I remember that game.
Richie gave me the ball. And no, Richie was wide open, right? And I looked off Richie because I wanted to dunk it. Took 3 steps, went up, and I was only 13 at the time. Went up, or 14.
Oh, I remember
went
this.
up,
Yeah.
and I missed the dunk, right? And some kid who was standing right there, and they called a travel, so the ball was dead, and he looks at me, and he goes, "You missed, beep," and he cursed, and he said, "You missed," and I...
What do you call you?
Starts with a P. Don't say it.
A P?
You.
No, don't say it. That's illegal. You cannot say that. That is a gender-specific word. We do not... never mind, not even going to get into it. But so this kid looks at me and goes, "You missed, P word." And then I'm like, and dude, I've never gotten into a fight with anyone. I've never had any kind of confrontation. So the whole thing with me getting into a dance battle during a street fight would definitely be a real thing. And he looks at me and we kind of just look at him, and all of a sudden, like, our chests touch. Like, you would have thought we were about to kiss, man, if you were looking at us. It was kind of like one of those scenes where the 2 main characters, like, slowly surround each other right before the musical number starts.
I remember seeing that from the sideline, like,
and Coach Chad,
me, and I was like, screw that kid, CJ.
Coach Chad's like, "Just walk away, CJ, just walk away." He's like, "Just walk away." And then Jeff's like, "Yo, get CJ out of there." And then he took me out, and I scored 0 points in that game. Only time I scored 0 points that entire season.
So talking about highs and lows of anything, athletics.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced tears of joy in anything in life? It doesn't have to be athletics.
Yeah. All right, Brian, go
You know
first.
what I'm
Start it
talking
off.
It's the same when you got your scholarship at Campbell.
I was literally going to say the same thing, but you said for me or for you?
For the whole family, that was crazy.
Dude,
Really?
that was rough. Not rough. It was just crazy.
That was some movie shit. That was crazy.
So I'm going to make the story really quick. So, junior, shattered my leg. Doctors told me straight up, they're like, "Yeah, we don't know if you're going to be able to play Division I sports or any kind of sports of that kind." Of course, came back, proved that wrong, whether it was accurate information that the doctors gave me or not. Had all the stomach stuff, wasn't able to gain weight, was put in a pretty bad spot, and then, of course, went to Northampton, taking the junior college route after not having any offers. And everybody knows, and even Zach kind of touched on my work ethic last week, and all you guys kind of said something about it, but I wanted nothing more than to go play a Division I sport for a program that wanted to win. It was my lifelong goal, and especially being in Northampton, I thought that goal could come into fruition from everything that Coach Yaguas had told me coming in there. He said, "That's why I want you to come." So we went on, this visit, driving to Campbell, right in the middle of nowhere. So my mom was talking to me or looking at me. She's like, come on, so you just give it a chance. Because it was in the middle of nowhere, just tobacco and cotton, as I've always said. But
I
after
remember on the car ride out there, we were like, uh-oh.
we're like, this is not near Raleigh. So
That's nice.
they brought me on a visit, toured the whole campus, took me out to dinner that night, the whole 9. And I was just totally blown away by everything. And when, not going to say how much the offer was, but when they put the offer in front of me, we had talked the night before saying that if I were to have gotten the offer, would I commit? And then, of course, we said if it was high enough, of course, because we don't want to wait longer and have that offer, revoked. So when he put it in front of me, I kind of took a second, and then I started to kind of recap my whole journey. And I was like, Coach, they told me I was maybe never going to be able to play Division I sports, and I broke down. Like I couldn't even finish my sentence.
Yeah.
And of course, like I look over at my dad. I never seen my dad cry before, except I think at my great grandmother's funeral. That was the only time I had saw my dad tear. My dad's tearing up. Brent, my mom, of course.
Yeah, mom just totally lost.
And my sister wasn't there. And I kind of looked up and I said, hey, if it stands, if I'm able to do it now, I would love to come, be a fighting camel. So that was freaking awesome, man. One of the greatest moments of my life. Man. And even though I didn't play a whole lot there, like every single one of my dreams came to fruition while I was there. So it was freaking awesome. That's definitely the tears of joy moment. And I don't really know any other moments where I really had tears of joy during a sporting event, but that 100% was it.
What about you guys?
You got anything, Bob?
I wouldn't say during a sport itself, but like just going into college, like after I was done playing sports, there was like a $5,000 scholarship for like a Chris Stiff Memorial Fund. Like I think he played football like a long time ago at Pocono Mountain, and like there was a memorial in his name, and like I did an essay, I did a bunch of stuff for it, and I won it, and it was like $5,000 I could put towards my college fund, and it definitely had some tears of joy for that. Say that.
Man, I've been happy about like athletics and stuff, but
that Eagles Super Bowl didn't
that was probably the closest I've gotten, and no tears shed. It was close though. There was one working towards it until that cop, started pulling out behind me after the Super Bowl. I'm like, dude, what is this guy gonna do to ruin my day?
What was that story?
So like, it was at my uncle's house when the Eagles played the Super Bowl. It was snowing, and I was dropping Mariana back off at her house, and she lives on off Rimrock Road somewhere. And I'm driving by the state police or whatever, and it's late at night, and I just see these flashing lights pull up behind me. I'm like, dude, what is this guy gonna do to like ruin my day? So I slowly start to pull over, and he just keeps going around me. I'm like, thank God. Like,
tears of joy right there. Tears of joy right there.
That didn't happen though. Maybe some, that's probably the closest.
Right.
All right. So that was all really great. Before we get going, we're going to do another Mount Rushmore. So we said we want to be doing new segments every week. We said we were going to bring the Mount Rushmore back, and we loved it so much the first week, people asked us to bring it back. So we're bringing it back. And what we're going to do is, what'd you say it was, Richie? Or who who had it?
I mean,
the Mount Rushmore.
Did you get any results?
Anything on the DM, Brent? Or no?
I thought we were going to do a top comedy movies.
Yeah,
top comedy. All right, yeah, I'm down for that. All right. So I don't really know what all four are mine, but one of them definitely has to be Anchorman 2.
That was a good one, yeah.
Dude, I quote that movie on repeat all the time. And dude, there's so many memes, but there's this one part where the Australian news anchor gets up there, they're like, Mr. Kench Allenby, and he gets up there and he's talking. Of course, it's a super over-exaggerated movie with everything, like full of stereotypes. And he goes, and then he gets up on stage, he goes, oh, well, let me tell you, ain't nobody bloody toil better than this one. Let me tell you, I am jabbing, just jabbing, full of beans, no doubt. And then they look into the stands. They look in where Ron Burgundy is, and he goes, does anyone speak Australian? And they're like, oh, no, I thought they talked like us. And all of a sudden he goes, can I get you to say with me, Alboyaya? And then everyone goes, Alboyaya. And then breaks in the back like, la, 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 la. Can I get you to say with me, Alboyaya? But yeah, that's my one, definitely.
What do you got, Brent?
Give me Step Brothers.
That's a good one.
Lots of Will Ferrell.
Give me I'm drawing a blank. Happy Gilmore.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, two others. Maybe the original Anchorman, not the second one. Maybe the original.
Yeah, that one was good too. Has to be.
And I don't know. I'll come back to me for the fourth one.
What do you got, Bob? Anything different?
I was gonna say Happy Gilmore too. Like, it's probably like my favorite movie in general. I would say.
Dude, Ben Stiller in that movie is flipping hilarious. He is awesome. He is so good
Ben
in that.
Stiller
As
is awesome. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. I just watched Grown Ups the other day too. I love that movie.
Oh, Grown Ups are a good one.
That's a good one. Wiley. I'm an animal. Wiley, go hang it off by your feet. Yeah, what? Yeah, go hang it off by your feet. He's like, all right, like, why? You're an animal. He's like, oh, I'm an animal.
I'm an animal.
And he goes and he does it, and he slams into the thing.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, Wiley, is the field go good? And he's like, yeah, I haven't heard that one before. Oh, that wasn't the second one, but all right, Rich or Bobby, do you have any others besides the
You guys
Grown
ever
Ups?
seen the movie Billy Madison or no?
Yeah.
That's another. That's
If
another
you've
good
seen
one.
Happy Gilmore, you had to have seen Billy Madison, and then you've had to have seen
Yeah,
Grown Ups.
those are the two.
Seems like Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler
Adam
kind of
Sandler,
own this.
Really king of
All
the-
right. Man. I'm going to throw this one out there. I don't know if you guys seen it, though. It's called The Ringer.
The Ringer. I've heard of it.
Johnny Knoxville is the main actor.
Oh, no.
I don't
It's a
think
good
so.
one.
watched
It's a
that
good
at
one.
your house.
Yeah, it's a good one. Other than that, I mean, Step Brothers is probably my number
Yeah, it's
one.
gotta be
I
up
can watch that anytime and just laugh the whole movie.
We just become best friends. Yup.
He comes out in the
Prestige worldwide.
Prestige worldwide. Wide.
Yeah.
Boats and Hoes. That's got one of the greatest
One
fake
the
songs
most-
of all
yeah,
times.
For sure.
One of the most
that-
quoted fake songs of all
So
time.
would we put that as like number one if we had to rank
Dude,
them?
I know
Is that a good one? Number one?
Every dude I've ever talked to, that is their favorite. So we can rank that number one, 100%. So Step Brothers is number one. I love
Oh, I
No
got
Sense.
one. I got another movie.
All right.
Wedding Crashers.
That's up there, yeah.
That's gotta
I
be.
was
That's
watching
gotta
that
be top.
yesterday.
Yeah, I forgot about
No, I was
that.
watching that this morning.
Is that where Will Ferrell's like, Mom, pizza?
Mom, the meatloaf!
Oh, meatloaf.
Mom, the meatloaf!
Dude, that movie's awesome.
He's like, so during one of those meetings I was talking about, Coach Hare randomly brought up, he said, guys, rule number 76, at all times, play like a champion. And we're like, what are you talking about? You guys don't know that movie? You guys kidding me? He's like, I'll let you guys think about it. And none of us thought about it. He goes, Wedding Crashers, rule number 76, play like a champion. And we just weren't expecting it. We're like, Coach, really? You're going to make a pop culture reference right in the middle of this super important baseball meeting? But
Your coach is reaching to the freaking movie lines.
it was funny. Now we quote it all the time. We're like, guys, remember, rule number 76, play like a champion. And there are tons of other funny movies that I guess we could say.
So, but if we had to come up with four,
Definitely
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers. I want to say Grown Ups. You say Grown
I'm
Ups?
good with Grown Ups. That's a good movie.
Grown Ups is good.
I like
I'll say-
Wedding Crashers. If you guys can agree to it.
I don't know about one of the top funniest of all time.
I can't think off the top of my head right now, so I would say.
Yeah, it's kind of tough going off the top of our heads. But dude, I think Happy Gilmore is a safe bet too.
They could go Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore is a safe bet. And then there's got to be one more. I don't know, man. I'm kind of drawing a blank. There's a million
Yeah.
out there though. I love the very first scene of Anchorman 2 where he comes in and he's like, I forbid you from taking this job. He's like, you forbid me. Who do you think you are, Julius Caesar? And then Ron Burgundy goes, who's Julius Caesar, honey? You know I don't follow the NBA.
Oh yeah.
Dude, and I didn't want to go see that movie, but I remember it was like you and Owen, maybe Connor Barbush. This is back when I was in like 8th grade. You were in 5th.
Shout out Connor.
And my mom, I went with my mom. She's like, CG, go with me. I really don't want to watch this movie. But after that line went off, we were cracking up the whole movie. It was awesome.
It was funny.
I remember going to the movies. Your mom was there. You were there, Richard, and it was during the Star Wars release.
Yeah,
and
it was for Force
You
Awakens.
guys saved 3 tickets for me, Gifford, and Alex, and none of us were big Star Wars guys. And like in the middle of the movie, we're just like me and Gifford was just talking, and everyone behind us, shh.
It was the Force
Dude,
Awakens.
the Star Wars
It was like
fans are
premiere
At
night.
all?
It was like premiere night, so every time I would like whisper, this guy was like, shh. Whoa, I'm sorry you can't hear it in this huge cinema
Yeah, no,
movie
dude.
theater.
Yeah, they get nuts at the Star Wars shit.
It was. I mean, Force Awakens was okay. And dude, Matt wants to talk about Star Wars, so we'll talk about that next week.
I just want to touch on one more thing
All right,
before
all
we
right,
cut
all
it
right.
off. About no, you weren't there for us, so it was me, Steven, Alex was at the movie with a girl, and there was nobody there except for one other family. Steven gets up on the stage.
He does the lawnmower.
The theater.
Oh my god.
He pretends to like start
He
an
was a
imaginary
nut.
lawnmower, and he just starts walking.
Do you have a video of that still? Oh,
No,
you
I
got it,
don't.
dude. Someone has to have that. I remember watching that, dude.
He just starts walking across the theater.
He did so much of that stuff, man. I miss him. We were throwing bottles. Brett, what were we doing? We were filling like baking soda and vinegar in bottles. We were shaking them up and we were throwing them on the blacktop, and it sounded like gunshots. So my dad called me. He's like, dude, CJ. He's like, why are you outside? There's gunshots outside. I'm like, no, Dad, we're just throwing bottles on the pavement. He's like, why are you doing that? It sounds like gunshots. It's like 3 a.m. after senior year, man.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I was digging through old videos, and I remember I found some videos of Vinny singing by the fire. So Richard would play his guitar, and he would just sing songs. Dude, like those times were so pure, man. And he'd be in the basement, just like totally abusing that Mickey Mouse. You guys remember the big Mickey Mouse? He would just be doing things.
I think we all put our turn on that.
Yeah. But dude, that like all that stuff was awesome. But you know, if we don't have anything else, you guys have anything else to add? That was a pretty good episode.
Solid.
Touch on our guest coming up next week.
Well, I was gonna be talking about that at the end. So we have a very special guest coming on, one of our longtime buddies, Matt Breen, who I think he's come to a Brosgiving or two. But regardless, this dude is super funny. Super funny. Got a lot of stories with the squad and with me in particular all throughout high school. So he's going to come on next week. We're going to try and give you guys some great content. I think we're going to be talking about girls. So that is definitely one episode that you guys do not want to miss. And coming out later this week is going to be the very first ever Brosgiving vlog. It's going to be from last year. It's a little bit of a late release, or a lot of a late release, but it's footage that we had from over quarantine. So we're going to release that. I know a lot of you guys can relate to that. And then we're going to be filming a new vlog coming up here real soon. So thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe on the video on YouTube. And Brent, we're going to get the Spotify up and working, right?
Yeah, we'll be on Spotify soon.
So hopefully we will be on Spotify for this podcast drop.
We will be.
Well, I was walking up and down Stroudsburg, and people actually like that I knew were like, dude, you gotta go on You gotta go on Spotify. You gotta go on Spotify because I'm listening to you. Remember what Nikki P was saying?
Nikki P goes, that's a deal breaker. He goes, I just listen to it like when I'm driving or something. But he goes, you gotta get on Spotify.
Right.
I gotta click on. So yeah, long story short, we're gonna get on Spotify and honestly, hopefully Apple Music too. I mean that would be ideal. But look out for that stuff, guys. Again, you guys have any comments? You guys have anything you guys want to see on the podcast? Hit us up. Slide into our DMs. We're always open to hearing, getting some new topics, hearing some more stories.
For sure.
And again, if you want to come on the podcast, hit us up. You know, we're not very particular. If you got a story to tell, then we're here to help you share it with the world.
Yeah,
all right?
I know some of you guys, you want to be all shy right now. I know you got good stories. Just come on, say your shit.
Come on, grab a coffee or a bang.
Yeah.
Chill out.
Yeah, we'll provide the beverages. We got the mic. Just come back and say some shit.
Come in and hang out. Like, we have a good time here. So that does it for episode 4 of the Dad's Office podcast with CJ, Brent, Rich, and Bobby. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.